taking place today, I would have come much earlier. So I apologize for coming late inadvertently, but I'm happy to be here. Your Excellency, the point I want to underline is what I call the diagnosis of anger. We have heard from Bishop Kuka and Professor Kaba about the typologies, the different types of anger, the possible solutions to anger. But I think before solutions can be effective, there must be proper diagnosis of anger, particularly at the personal level. When I feel angry, I should be able to ask myself, why am I angry? At times people feel anger and they feel depressed and moody without understanding why they are in that state. I think we can all be trained to analyze our feelings and discover the cause or the causes of our anger. Then, and only then, can effective management of anger take place. Now, at the society level, I agree entirely with Bishop Kuka that Chapter 2 of the Constitution contains most of the rights which, if implemented, will reduce, if not eliminate, the causes of anger in society. But beyond recognizing the effectiveness of Chapter 2 as a possible panacea to anger management, I want to suggest, as a former civil servant, the Director of Economic Planning for Nigeria for many years, I want to suggest that perhaps the reintroduction of economic planning in our country will enable us to implement those measures that will enhance the welfare of the people more effectively and at lower cost. Because we have abandoned planning, the impression gets created when a minister or a commissioner gets an allocation of maybe 500 million, gets the impression that this is a surplus. Because there are no plans, costed plans with phases, to which the ministry is already committed. Because once you have a plan, you never have enough money. So the question of surplus and loss and stealing will be minimized, and it will be easier, therefore, to implement those measures to create employment, to create health facilities, to create education that will minimize the prevalence of anger within society. Of course, if you do not eliminate sources of frustration, anger will continue to fester and eventuate in violence, in dissension and instability in society. I agree that Chapter 2, yes, is an important starting point, but what I'm saying is that it is necessary but not a sufficient condition for the overall management of anger in our society. I thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a brilliant contribution. And I believe all of us will go home with that if the Chapter 2 is systematically and humanely implemented, it will go a long way in addressing the problem of anger in our society. But that is not the only thing that we need to do. We need to do proper planning to ensure that our plans are seen through, are carried through to fulfillment. Having said that, let me quickly ask the only lady amongst us here, she's a star, to comment on the contribution of Professor Okoba when he said that if we remove anger from our society and frustration from our society, there will be less incidents of criminality. And that will bring to us relative peace more than we are now enjoying. Do you necessarily agree that if everybody is anger-free, there will be peace in the society when anger itself is part of a human being, of the human being. Can we actually remove anger in such a way that the society become anger-free and there will be abundance of peace, so to speak?
Thank you. I totally disagree with that assertion. If there's no anger in the society, there will still not be peace. Now, you need to go back to the caveman to understand the concept of anger. Remember when we are all in the bush, man, woman. Imagine a lion coming after you, or the next caveman annoys you, your heart quickens, adrenaline is pumped into your blood. You either fight or you flee. So, my dear people, anger is part and parcel of humanity. But beware of the cortisol, the chemicals that anger puts in your bloodstream. It will damage your kidney. It will damage your liver. People can actually die from being angry. You can get sick. So, I disagree that anger, if removed, will reduce criminality. But my advice on managing anger is: 1, when you're angry, count to 10. If you're more angry, count to 20. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, a great contributor. I will just ask one simple question. I do not know whether anger itself, from its very nature, has any merit. Does it have merit?
Your Excellency, for the record, I remain His Royal Majesty Pere SP Liu Kalanama VIII, the Pere of Akubene Main Kingdom, a fellow of the Chartered Institute, Management Institute of the United Kingdoms. Let me, on behalf of my fellow royal fathers, congratulate you on this very auspicious occasion of your 60th birthday. Your Excellency, congratulations. Our Excellency, congratulations. Then, talking about hunger, the simple question is, does hunger have any merit in whatever we do? I will say the answer is practically no. There is a book I read a few days ago, written by Stephen Reyes, titled The Normal Personality. And it talks about certain desires of the human being, where he talked about natural desires and artificial desires. And he classified natural desires as those desires that come in involuntarily. Your desire to eat. Once you see you are hungry, you eat, and after some hours thereafter, you are hungry, so you desire to eat. And so, anger itself too, most times, or even all the time, is involuntary. But the ability to manage that anger is what matters most as far as I'm concerned. Then there is this professor of corporate governance, now leads Beckett University, United Kingdoms.